So we're going to start this video with a good news, bad news situation. So the good news, or should I say the bad news, is it's me today. Alex is on holiday. He's on holiday in Scotland. So he'll be back next week. So don't worry, he's not left. So he's going to be back next week. And the good news is though, she's back. And I know a lot of you, judging by the viewing figures, have wanted to see this thing back and what we're going to be doing to it. So let me just turn the lights on, put the kettle on, and then we'll go through it. Quick recap then for you. The van went down to MRC for tuning. Doug's been playing about with it down there. He's took his time with it, and I can't thank the guy enough. What he doesn't know about RS4 engines and cars and RS6s, you could write on a stamp with a 3-inch paintbrush. He's took his time with it. He's done a lot of work on it for me, and I'm truly grateful for all the help that MRC have done. And he's got it running lovely. We've got some videos of it on the rolling road, and obviously he's done a switchable map. So he's done a 3-stage map, so 3 different types of maps that can be altered. So I'll show you the videos later on. I'll show you the videos on the rolling road, and I'll give you the final figure. Now, we did speak to Doug, and we did speak about pushing this thing and doing some crazy figures, which we could have done. However, and this is a big however, obviously, you know, we've swapped this engine. The other, just to give you an idea, down there, we've got the cylinder heads. They've been all redone for us. So we're going to rebuild that other engine that we had in. Obviously, we've got the Merc to do. We've got the Audi to do. So we're extremely busy at the moment. So like I say, with Alex being off, I thought, right, I'm going to get onto this, and I'm going to get a couple of little jobs done to finish it off. Now, one of the things that Dougie couldn't find and couldn't do was the sport button. Now, on these, they have a sport button. The earlier models have them on the dashboard, so you press it and it changes the characteristics of the engine, throttle response and so like that. We didn't have that. We didn't know what loom we had, to be totally honest with you, because obviously we got it from a car that we didn't know if it had the sport button. We didn't know, to be totally honest with you. We've been looking for it. So for the last day, I've been looking for the sport button, wires, the plugs, everything like that, and came to the conclusion, unfortunately, it hasn't got the button. It's the later model, and the later model has it on the steering wheel. So my Audi TT steering wheel that I put on a couple of weeks ago, that's got to come off, and I've got to put an RS4 steering wheel on with the buttons. So another expense on that. So I have got it, it's down there. I've also got some ABS sensors here as well, because the issue that we were having is the ABS wasn't working and the speedo wasn't working. So the speedo picks up its signal from the ABS and wasn't working. Doug couldn't get it to work. We were seeing no signal, and we found out what the problem is. So I'll go over with that now, and talk to you about that. And then that's what we're going to do. We're going to fit the ABS sensors, and the steering wheel. ABS sensors, not as easy as I thought it were going to be. So I'll explain to you that one anyway. Right, so hopefully this is going to make sense. Makes sense in my head, but whether it's right. Right, so hopefully this is going to make sense. Now, what I'm doing is, get a bit of light on the situation, is I'm going to change the ABS sensors. Now, what we've done is, as you know, we put in all the Audi RS4 running gear and the wiring loom. So we put that all in, but what we did was we kept the original ABS sensors for the transporter, and we thought we'll just change the wiring and plug them in. But we haven't been able to get any speed on the sensors or anything like that. Nothing's worked. And we've plugged it in a VAGCOM, we've tried all sorts of different things, but we haven't got it working. Now, what we've come to the conclusion of, and we're hoping this is right, is that these are the ABS sensors for the transporter. And what happens is, if you don't know what an ABS ring does, it basically, on the transporter, in the hub, there's a bearing, and there's a little magnet on one piece of the bearing. What happens is, as the bearing spins round, when the magnet hits there, that picks up the signal. So as it's going round, the ABS sensor sends a signal to the ABS, and it knows what's happening. So it knows what speed the wheel is doing, if it's slipping, if it's stuck, if it's skidding, whichever, and it adjusts it accordingly. So that's for the transporter. And as you can see, like I say, it works off the bearing. Now, as you can see on that as well, it's a little tiny thing. So that's I'll show you on the hub in a minute if I can get in. That's what goes through. So you've just got that little tiny hole there for it to go into. On the other hand, these are RS4 ABS sensors. And that's a little, same sort of principle, but that's a little magnet at the end. And what happens is, again, same thing again, but on the RS4s, again, when I get the drive shaft out, I'll show you, it's got an ABS ring. This is an ABS ring. And this, as you can see, has got little holes in. So every time it goes, as you can see, it sits probably a couple of millimeters away. So every time it passes over that, it knows when there's a hole and when there's not a hole. And again, tells the ABS. As you can see, there's a big difference in size. So I've got to make these fit somehow to the hub. And that's what I'm going to try to do now. And then hopefully we can get some the speedo to work, and it'll pick it up. Right, bit of a close-up for you then. So hopefully this should make sense. So as I explained, that's the ABS sensor for the transporter, and that goes in, I can focus it, there. So that goes in that little hole, like so. And that's it. It picks up the signal, so when, I'll just put that there, when the bearing goes round, it picks up the signal, but it's not working. You can just about see, because these are RS4 drive shafts, you might just be able to see the ABS ring there. There you go. But it's too far. You can see the sensor's back here, and it's too far out to pick it up. So we need, and like I say, it's the wrong sensor anyway. We think they transmit on a different signal, and that's why it's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the drive shaft. So bolt at the end, take out the drive shaft, obviously, because it's four-wheel drive. So that's got to come out, and then I've got to figure out how I'm going to mount that thing, which is a lot bigger. I'm going to need about a dozen hands here, I think, for this, but what I think I've come up with is obviously the ABS ring is sort of there on the RS4 drive shaft. Now, I can't just drill that hole bigger because it's in the wrong position, and if I put that sensor that way like that, it won't work because, as you can see, it's got a line at the bottom. Take a bit of crap off of that. That is the magnet, and the magnet needs to, if I bring it out, right, the magnet needs to be in line. Hang on a second, it's hard to do this with just one hand, showing you two pieces. Right, it needs to be perfectly in line with that. Can't be off because then it might pick it up. So it has to be perfectly in line like that. So what I'm thinking of doing is using that original fixing hole. Move that torch a bit. Right, using that original fixing hole there, but then drilling a hole at the side of there. So I've got to measure it out, but I'm doing it that way, and then that will keep that parallel to the ABS ring. That's the idea anyway. A couple of bolts in just to hold it. Spin that on, and hopefully it's in line. You'll know before I do, actually. Right. Right, that's a bolt on just to keep it in. And then end that drive shaft in when teeth line up. There we go. Right. Bring the torch back. Right. Put bolt in, see if it draws it back a bit. It doesn't look bad actually. Right, if I now put that in, that's not bad at all. I've over drilled it because obviously it's giving me a bit of adjustment. Needs to come around like that. Actually, that might do. Alright, so we need to, what I'll do, put a little nut underneath it for now, just to act as a spacer, so it needs to be just off the drive shaft. I think that should. See if that'll work. Now that we've got it situated, what I'm going to do, what I've done is I've just made up a bit of wire, 2 spade connectors, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to push that wire into the wiring loom for the van, and then we've got the RS4 ABS sensor. So I'm just going to, can't see, push some spare connectors into that, just a temporary measure. Obviously we just need to make sure it's working, and then I can tidy everything up, obviously paint everything. Right, so that now is the ABS sensor connected, and what I've done is I have connected VADCOM. So to show you, hang on, I can get the bloody thing, tripod working. Right, so if we go, what we're going to do is we are going to go into ABS brakes. We're then going to go into measuring blocks, and the first measuring block is our wheel speed sensors, front left, front right, rear left, rear right. So we should be on rear left. Hopefully when I turn this now, if I turn the disc, we should see some movement. Right. There we go. Perfect. Oh, it works, which is good. So I just need to make a proper little spacer for it, and then we can paint it all and splice the wires in properly, and obviously do the others. With all the ABS sensors plugged in and wired up, it was just a case of testing them now. So you can just see me here, I was running around the van and just spinning the wheels. So I did the front right, then the rear right, rear left, and then front right, just to make sure everything was okay. Once that was done and I saw that VADCOM was picking it up, the van was already on axle stands, so what I did, I just jumped in the van, started it up and put it in gear and ran it just to make sure that the speedo was working, and hey presto, it was, which is good. So once I did that, then I fitted the RS4 steering wheel, complete with all the functions on it, so they're all working as well, including the sport button. So that means now that we can press that and have all the pops, cracks and flames and all sorts coming out of the exhaust, which is good fun. You'll see the ASP light is on there, but that's because we just need to take it out and give it a run. So now I'll hand over to Doug, who will tell you the figures, because I'm sure you wanted to know that.
Okay, so this is Andy's T5 RS4 twin turbo van with map switcher. So map 2 is the octane booster map, map 3 is the immobilizer map, map 1 is just the 99 map, and on the dyno we get 733 PS, 773 Newton meters on the 99 tune. It's running about 12-13 PSI, and with the octane booster map, which we just run a lot more timing on, it runs 832 PS and 847 Newton meters.
First time in the van for you anyway, innit?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just take it steady until she warms up, and then we shall open her up a bit. So at the moment we're only in map number 1, which is about 720 brake. We won't give you the full beans of the 830 odd.
It's not running yet, has it? So no, you don't want to stress it too much.
Yeah, I want to let her run in and change oil and make sure everything's alright with it before we go berserk. But on the way over here though, we did, what, 27 miles to gallop?
Yeah.
Which, not too bad to be honest, not too
No,
shabby.
it's pretty good for the amount of power it's got and considering.
So there's a few jobs that I still need to do on it, a couple of little things. I need to put a cover over the way clocks are, I need to build something for that. There's, I need to hire these seats too low. We got a few lights on the dashboard. It's telling me fog lights are connected, which I know. Brakes, because we haven't got pad sensors on. Screen wash, because that's low. And the other one, which always comes on, which is the fuel. But the fuel is because on the RS4s they have like a twin tank. And they have 2 senders, one in each tank. And obviously we've only got 1 tank with 1 sender. So it's throwing things out at the moment. So I need to either try to recalibrate it or something. Have a look at that.
We were saying about the boost swimmers coming over here as well, how it's a lot more obviously responsive than the old one. So it's coming on at what, about 2.5?
Yeah, the old blue van, that used to, I think it was about three and a half thousand that it used to, turbos used to kick in. These are same size turbos, but they've got like a twin scroll wheel inside them, and they spool up a lot quicker. So these spool up around about 2000. So there's virtually no lag. With the other one, there were a bit of lag, wasn't there?
Yeah, you could feel it hopping into power, whereas this, it's more steadily and more linear when it comes to it.
Yeah. So this one, you'll see in a minute, doesn't have any lag.
Just gonna turn around.
So we'll go back now. So it's just been over at Lee at ADV. He's just polished it for me, buffed it and polished it back up. But I think the only thing that I don't like about this is the clutch, because it's a.
So as you can probably see then, it's a racing clutch, so when you're setting off it's very juddery and wants to go constantly.
Yeah, it's either on or off. It does cruise, but like I say,
it's just setting off that initial.
She's always like, oh, it's like a pit bull on a lead, always wanting to fire off, innit?
Yeah.
Right, so it's warmed up. Right, we've also got sport button working. So we get a few pops and bangs.
A few pops and bangs,
right.
Flames.
Yep.
Yeah, she's quite rowdy.
Just need to get gearbox set up right as well. Cables need adjusting a little bit. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
average fuel consumption then, it was 27 on the way over here.
Or about 4.
8.
Yeah.
I think this guy in front of us is wondering where all pops and bangs are coming from.
As you can tell probably by the camera shake, she sets off quite fast when the camera's tilting back every time we set off.
Yeah, it's the first time you've been in, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good bit of fun. Scary, but
It's a bit unnerving, isn't it?
yeah,
Really?
it's unnerving because when you're in this size of a van with no aerodynamics or anything and shoving it to this speed, you can feel the wind and everything every time you set off.
I think, what did Mike say? It's like shoving a
Shoving a shed down the motorway, that's what it feels like.
There we go.
Go back in.
Should get home on that fuel, hopefully.
Should.
This is just going to be a very quick ending to the video. All I'm going to say is a massive thank you to everybody that's helped us and supported us with this video, with the van, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So it is, I know Alex isn't here, but it is a huge thank you. I'm sure he'd put his support to it as well. Like I say, we couldn't do cars like this, vans like this without you guys. So really do appreciate your support in all of this. And what we did, we got this ready, we did a few little road tests, and we decided on an impromptu visit to the Leeds VW Festival this morning. So it's now Sunday night, we've just got back, and I'm glad we went. I met loads of people that have watched the video and came and said hello. That was absolutely fantastic to say hello to everybody, so thank you to everybody that did come and say hello to me and had a chat about the van. And we came away with best water cooled. So first trip out with the van and it wins a trophy. I couldn't be more happier. So that's it, guys. It's down to you that we're here. So if you haven't, please like and subscribe, and tune in for more madness next week. So I'll let you go and get your tea now anyway. Bye.